All right, guys, if you found yourself out there frustrated or just straight up intimidated when it comes to one of these guys right here and feeling confident enough to customize it and make it work for you, have no fear. We're going to solve that. Make it super simple to do. I'm going to show exactly how to customize the switch panel in this video. And we're also going to jerry rig the voltmeter so that it's not just running all day, just having that parasitic drain on your battery, as well as the running lights. So we're gonna do those two things. We're gonna customize it. Now, I've done some videos on this before, and I always like to do an update. It's been a while, but I'm happy to just bring this update to you because things change, things evolve, things get better. I wanna keep you guys with the most recent information. So first, let's go over what switch panel I am using. This is a 6-gang switch panel, and it has a USB and voltmeter on the end here. This is by Nilite. This is on Amazon. And don't worry, guys, this explanation is going to apply to the majority of them out there. They're pretty much all the same out there on the internet. So again, got 6 switches right here and USB chargers underneath. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. Maybe I'll put the camera down. There you go. Got your USB charges here and your voltmeter center screen right here when that's lit up. All right. Oops, try that again. Now looking at the back. This is where folks get headaches. If you buy your switch panel and they're already pre-wired, this is pretty much how a lot of the companies like to do them when they pre-wire them out the box. And the way this is set up, it's in a simplified version. You can honestly keep it this way if that fits your needs, depending on what you're plugging these switches up with or what you're connecting to the switches, what you're powering with them. But what this means is you've got all your grounds piggybacked against each other. This is this top row right here, all the way around, down the aisle, and over even to the voltmeter. That does not need to change no matter what. I leave these just the way they are. All the grounds can be jumped together and connected to one ground wire that ultimately goes to the battery or your fuse box if it has a negative bus on it. Easy breezy, ground, take it off the plate. It's easy, just leave it as is. What they do out the box is they then jump all of the positive to all the switches. And then they're saying, hey, you can just connect one power source that will power this all the switches one time. You simply just plug in each thing that you want to power up, whether it's hatch lights, a bilge pump, a live well, I mean, you name it, nav lights, deck lights, whatever it is that you're connecting to this, you just connect each one to the switch that you want to power. Now that sounds great. Some people might be saying, hey, I mean, perfect. I mean, that's less work for me. I just connect up these two to the battery or the fuse box and then just connect my 5 accessories to these switches. The downside of that is that everything that you connect your switches to would be on the same fuse and would be protected with one fuse. And that would be whatever fuse you install between the power source and this switch panel off of this. Now, some people might not care and they'll say, hey, I'll just drop a 30 amp fuse in there and it'll cover everything. You can do that if you like, but if you're truly trying to protect your individual components, for example, a fish finder, some of them require a 2 amp fuse where something else could require a 5 amp, some could be a 10 amp to be able to protect the accessory. You don't want to connect a 10 amp fuse to a fish finder that you could damage the fish finder if you get a power surge and then you're pushing 10 amps into that fish finder, and we know how expensive those are these days. So that's where it becomes a not so great scenario, just using one common fuse to fuse everything that your switch panel controls. So now we're going to look at the ideal way to go about this. Ideally, you want to have an individual fuse power line coming into your switch panel. So let's break this down for a second. On the back of these switches, you have several plugs. The ground, again, will be the easiest to identify, and there's probably be some form of instructions, but ground, keep it simple, jump them all, done deal. Then you'll have another one, and in this case, it's in the center. Center switch will be your power coming into the individual switch. Okay, the center one right here into this switch, power in. Then you have this bottom left. You've got this bottom left terminal here. That is for the component or the accessory that you're controlling this switch with. Okay, so this switch right here on the right behind it, if I'm running a bilge pump off of this, I'm going to connect that bilge pump right here. Okay, directly bilge pump to your switch. Now this bottom right terminal, and it has the jumper connected to it. All of these bottom right ones are the same for every one. This controls the running light that's at the bottom of each switch. All right, 1, 2, 3, see them right here. I can actually drop the, let me turn off this light. I'll just touch this battery. Gosh, one-handed, here we go, boom. Those bottom lights right there are the lights that I'm talking about right here. Those lights are all controlled by this bottom right terminal right here. I'll give you a little side angle, trying to make this all make sense to you guys, all right? So that's the setup. And just to, I actually wrote this out here, excuse my horrible handwriting, but pretend this is the back of the switch, just like this right there. This is the back of the switch. Like I said, you got your 2 ground wires up front. You've got your power in. This is power coming off of your battery or fuse box. And this is your accessory here, bottom left, and then your running light bottom right. That's it, guys. That's it. Mystery solved. We're good to go. All right. So, oh, this is, sorry, I think I got some food on here. It's like chocolate or something. Yeah, excuse that. But anyway, I got 1% in this battery. Let me change out the battery. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So high level, this is what we're gonna do. So to get to the ideal situation that I talked about in this video, having each individual switch fused for that specific accessory that's connected, we're gonna remove all the jumpers. And again, we wanna make everything individually fused to the switch, all right? That's gonna control the individual items, so the fuse will be specific to the component. We're gonna remove all the red jumpers off of this center row. Center row is the power coming into the individual switches, all right? Now, next, what we're gonna do is, and I think we can use the same jumpers and cut off the excess, but we will take this jumper. We can start from this end over here, starting over here on just one of the regular switches, and we're going to jump these. So we're gonna have it go from here to here to here to here without the center row connected, just the bottom right terminals. And that's for the running light. We're gonna have all the running lights jump together. So we're gonna jump it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over here. And then we're going to connect also the charger voltmeter to this same jump. So I'm going to have this jump over to here. So it's going to jump 1, 2, 3, 4. And then on the 5th jump over, we are going to jump it over to this 5th one here. But then from this 5th one, we're going to jump it into the actual accessory terminal right here. All right. So that means when we flip the switch underneath, it will turn on these running lights. Not only will we connect the running lights to this terminal right here, but we're going to end up jumping the voltmeter into here as well. So again, so when I hit the switch on the other side, not only is it going to turn on all the running lights here, it will also turn on the voltmeter. And that's basically it, guys. That's the summary form of it. I'm going to show you how to do it, how I'm going to do it on this switch panel right now. Okay, as I mentioned, first thing we want to do is to jump all of these right terminals for the running lights all the way over to the switch, the farmost left switch. This will be the switch right next to the voltmeter. So, and this is something to pay attention to, guys, and trust me, I've done it the wrong way and broke them. A lot of these spade connectors lock in. So you can see here when I pull on them and you don't want to pull too hard, it stops just like that. There's a little lever in there that you need to press down to be able to pull it off. There you go. All right, that releases the locking mechanism. So make sure you do that. If you don't and you pull too hard, you will literally pull this out. Ask me how I know, I've done it. So I'm gonna leave the first one connected, and then I'm gonna reach back here, find the lever, this right here, and pull that off. Because I need to get all of these rewired, I'm gonna go ahead and just pull them all off as the first step. Because I'm basically gonna take the jumper that was on the middle one and use it over here. So this one was connected to the middle here. I'm actually gonna bring it over here. But let's go ahead and just get them all off. All right, we got that. Middle jumper is now gonna go to the right post. We're just gonna repurpose the existing wiring. You don't have to create jumpers. You could always create ones if you wanted to, but why do that if you already have them? I forgot to remove this one. Let's get this one off too. All right, so here we are. So what I want to do is I pulled off the end one, which was right here. I'm going to use the next available jumper and connect it. Connect it here, which is the accessory. So we're turning on with this switch right here, we're turning on the running lights at the bottom, and then I'm going to use the other jumper and plug it into the voltmeter. Just like that. All right. I'm going to leave this on here till after I run my test, just to make sure everything works properly before I cut this off. But in the end, we're going to cut this off. So as it stands right now, I've got the running lights and the voltmeter on the switch. The left bottom terminal is the switch. All right. So we're going to test this now. What we're going to see when we plug this up is when I hit this switch, actually they're all on. When I turn this switch on, it's going to turn on these running lights and this voltmeter. Let's go ahead and test that out. Just using an ordinary 12-volt battery, I'm going to connect my ground up. And to simulate this, I need to connect a separate red wire to the middle terminal. Again, that's supplying power to the switch. So right here, I am connecting my test power out to the middle, and I hope you guys can see all this, to the middle terminal in there. This is just so that I can test and demo this. And then I'm gonna pull power off the battery. All right, so we've got power to it. The running lights are not on right now, neither is the voltmeter. And we're gonna click it. That now turns this on, running lights, and your voltmeter right here. So now we have it on a dedicated switch. This does not have to run all day and just be a parasitic drain on your battery. Honestly, guys, just having worked with boats a lot and batteries, if you were to leave this on running all day with the batteries that are out nowadays, I don't see it being a problem at all. Like, you're going to run out of power because you're running this. But again, it is a parasitic drain. Parasitic meaning it's not a major drain on a battery, but yet it's still a drain. And I will say this, if you don't have a master switch, cutoff switch for the entire switch panel, you definitely want to put this on one of your switches or an external switch. You can also install a toggle switch in your boat. I've done that too. So it works. That took 2 seconds to do. I literally did that in less than 5 minutes. All right, so now that we know it works, we'll go ahead and let's remove it first of all. Take this off, disconnect, disconnect. Now we can go ahead and cut off our excess jumper wires right here. We're gonna just cut it as far down as we can and try to cut this down as far as you can. Definitely past the protector that's here, this blue shrink tubing. So I'm gonna push this down in here as far as I can get it and snip it. You could try to slide this off and expose everything and just try to cut it right down in there, but this clamp in there is holding on the entire wire that's bent inside there, so I don't really want to mess with the integrity of that. And I've done this several times like this before. It's not a problem. Just get down in there and snip. All right, there we go. It's well past the protective sleeve. But what I'm gonna do is drop a little liquid tape in there just as an additive. You don't have to. Just make sure you cut it as far down as possible. That way it's not exposed and potentially touching anything outside of the switch panel. Here's liquid tape. Oh, this is what it looks like, guys. If you don't know, you can buy this stuff on Amazon too. This works like electric tape, but in a liquid form, and you've got different colors. I'm just using red because I'm dealing with the power wire. This can get a little messy, but it's okay. What I want to do is just glob it down in there. So as you can see, it's all there covered up. This will harden and will protect this circuit from touching anything outside of it and short circuiting anything. Again, not necessary, but just a good step. And that's it, guys. I've got my liquid tape there protecting it, and that's it for the wiring really. And just to test out one more accessory, just to show you that the other switches will act the same as this one on the end that I just demoed, I'm just going to jerry rig some nav lights that I just have sitting around here, some old lights. Just like that. So now, well, let's turn off the light. Now when I hit this switch, let's get the lights where you can see them, the lights turn on. So same thing. So there you have it. Connect whatever you want to these, just follow the same pattern. You've got the bottom left terminal to connect whatever accessories you want, whether it's nav lights, a bilge pump, whatever, deck lights, whatever it is, you can just follow the same concept for the remaining accessories you want to connect to this switch panel. Wanted to jump on here and do something quick just to simplify it. This is about being able to encourage people to do it yourself. You can do it. Just get up and actually do it. Start tinkering with it. These switch panels are not expensive. Hit our Amazon store up. We have all these products in our Amazon store. Link in the description below. Now there's a lot more to wiring a John boat, and it gets pretty intricate. This is one of the areas that frustrate a lot of people, but in general, if you're one of those people that get frustrated or intimidated by wiring up a boat yourself, check this video out right here. It is a video I titled The Cheat Code. It breaks down exactly what you need to know to wire a boat up, and I do it in the simplest form possible, which is very easy to understand. Check this one out right here, guys. See you on the next video.